Well, welcome to the Seattle Ferry Terminals. How are you today? My name is William Davis. I'm the owner of a.p.c. Photography and WDCD Media. Last little test of the OBSBOT Tail 2. And before we start deploying this on a daily basis for our live streams and the rest, today, here's what our setup is. We have a normal camera tripod. We have the OBSBOT Tail 2, Rode Wireless Pro system, and we have the Rode Interview Pro. With the option of recording internally, which we have not done this time. We are streaming at 1080. We're using a cell phone for the actual stream. So we're using this cell phone to both stream it and control the camera. We have a couple presets on it, and we're also going to go over some of the tracking features. So today you'll see me tracked. Let's do that right now. So right now I'm being tracked, and we're a little bit bright there. There we go. So with this, I can be tracked anywhere and everywhere I'm walking, and it will stay on my face. It'll keep me in the upper third of the middle section, which is nice. And you can readjust those the way you want to. It will also do all the zooming for you. So as I take a step back, where I would normally have a camera person doing the zooming, pan, and tilting, this is doing it for me automatically. It is capable of recording 4K at 60 frames per second. So if we were doing like a sports event or we wanted to slow down some of this footage later and use it in an edit, we sure could. With the tracking on, I'm able to just stay in position without having to need the assistance of another person, which I find to be very fascinating and nice in a unit like this. The other real huge benefit of this unit, I'm a little dark here. Let me brighten that up. The other huge benefit to this particular unit, it has a battery built into it. So I've got about 5 hours, 3.5 to 5 hours of stream time with this battery. And also I have to worry about when this phone will die too, because it's going to be basically streaming for me and have the screen on, which is usually about 2 or 3 hours in itself. It has a power zoom on it that can go up to 12 times in a hybrid mode, which is super nice. Seems to be pretty easy to control all the functionality of this, so keeping your exposure shouldn't be too much of an issue. They do have accessories for VNDs. I have not had an opportunity to play with those yet. I didn't even purchase them, so due to not knowing that they existed, now that I know they exist, it's going to be on the list. There's also another plate I can add along to this particular unit, and it would give me an additional 3 to 5 hours, so I can function a full day for an event. Another beautiful benefit is the ability to put in sage positions. So I'm gonna go to position 3, which is gonna be a lookout from the pier to see the docks, which is really a beautiful shot in itself. Let me get a little exposure correct. It's been all over the place today. And then we can go our next shot, which was a view of the terminals. And it's actually pretty quick for making adjustments for exposure. And it's pretty smooth too. It's not jumping the exposures a whole lot. So I can get a nice exposed shot just like that. And then position 1 is where I initially set myself up for this particular test. And let's get the exposure correct. All right, that's close enough. I mean, I don't want to blow out the highlights completely, because it is kind of a gray, dreary day, and I'm underneath a valance so that we don't get rained on just in case it decides to rain. Overall, I'm finding this to be a very fascinating tool. Let me put the tracking on. That's really seems to be easy to use without many of any issues. That is weird. A little overexposed there. All right, there we go. Tracking the head. All right, I like that. And let's get that exposure right. I'm still trying to get the tools down for getting all of the exposures perfect, along with getting the tracking speed down. There's a couple settings I haven't quite got right, but this is turning out to be a very, very cool tool. This isn't your normal test, so this is real world. How would I come out and do an interview and a shoot? And I could really come out and do an interview and shoot and talk to a couple people. and track a certain person if I just had them on a screen and they're over here talking and then going, hey, look, there we go. Here we are. Like I said, we might need a VND, but that's not a huge thing. Overall, I'm totally satisfied. I'm going to see what the stream looks like overall for if it's how well it did with using the cellular phone for the mobile data. But other than that, so far, looking at this, it seems to be clean, seems to be smooth. Looking at the microphone setup, we seem to be getting a clean microphone in. Let's find out. I'll review the stream. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is William Davis with WDCD Media and a.p.c. Photography, and this is the OBS